Okay, I'd like to call to order the Charter Township Board of Trustees special meeting for Wednesday, August 28th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Could we all please rise and pay respects to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A roll call, please.
Wright,
Here.
Charles,
Here.
Nold,
Here.
Ferrari,
Here.
Payne, Colvin, here, Curtis.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Thank you. All right, could I get item number 4, approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the following deletion. Item 7B.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Clerk Wright, removing item 7B from tonight's agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none. Okay, item number 5, public comment on items not on the agenda. This is the time for the audience to come up and speak on items that are not on our agenda tonight, and we give you 3 minutes to speak to the board. Good evening.
My name is Mary Spearman, and I live on Roxbury Court out at the north end of Oxford Township. Less than a year ago, I came and stood before you and talked about the pickleball courts. And, excuse me, and the seniors, the active seniors in this community, and how we really would have wanted and needed pickleball courts so that we could stay local and play. Well, as you know, that has been taken care of. The new courts are in. They're absolutely gorgeous. They were full. All 8 courts were full Monday morning, bright and early. If you build it, they will come. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm just here to say thank you. Thank you for thinking of and allocating those ARPA funds to this active senior community in Oxford. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, item number, oh, I'm sorry.
You got a full house today.
I see you.
Some very appreciative people. I'm Val Serrato. I live in Oxford Lakes, and I came here about a year ago with Mary, and we were asking at that time, our wildest dreams were to get enough money to make up the difference in what we had collected in our fundraisers and what we needed to just restripe the courts, because you couldn't tell the difference between the pickleball lines and the tennis lines. So we were just praying that you would allocate that much money. Well, our hope had been exceeded. Our dreams have been met. The resurfacing of the courts, they're gorgeous. They're really gorgeous. I stopped up there Sunday, which was like the day after they had, well, a couple days after they had completed, but our regular pickleball group wasn't there on Sundays. And there were 5 courts being used. And I know most of the pickleball players in the area, the older ones at least, and I did not recognize a single face on those courts. And not a single person, I would say, was over 25. They were all young people playing on there, which was wonderful. I mean, that's what we want, the up and coming generation. And as Mary alluded to, on Monday we had our first regular session that we play Monday through Friday, and we had the highest number of participants of any day, and I've been playing for 5 years, and it was the highest number we had. So as Mary said, build it and they shall come. And I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, really. And I can't even begin to tell you the excitement. I mean, people were texting back and forth. When are the courts going to be ready? Oh, I drove up there. They've got them striped. Blah blah blah. It was like a kid on Christmas Eve. It was really wonderful. And thank you all that voted for it, and even those that didn't, we still appreciate that it went through, and just wanted to let you know that we really did appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the audience like to come up and speak? I'll take kudos all day long.
Hello, everyone. My name is Deb Richards, and Val and Mary are our representatives, our ombudsman, and I'm just a civilian, but I'm brimming with the excitement that they are sharing with you all. So I just want to say those are the most beautiful courts, and we will take good care of them. And I think it's really going to be great for this community. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 6, Board of Trustee comments. We'll start with Trustee Charles.
Quick comment about the website. You know, it's underway. The website that I recommended maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. So Trustee Payne, myself, and Treasurer Ferrari have been working on that, and it's well underway as we speak. That's it.
Thank you. Clerk Wright?
No comment.
I have no comment. Treasurer Ferrari?
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Nold?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Trustee Payne?
Well, I have to say, it's a very pleasant surprise to have someone come and tell us that we did something right. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Trustee Colvin?
Nothing at this time.
I heard a rumor that somebody snuck into the senior pickleball players and won the championship. Is that true? Yes?
Had a ringer, huh?
They snuck in, though, I heard.
Snuck in? Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
About sneaking in, but yeah.
All right, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Item 7, budget public hearing. I'll wait for a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move to open the Truth in Budgeting public hearing at 6:37 p.m. to discuss the property tax millage rates proposed to be levied to support the proposed budgets for the following: 2025 General Fund 101 budget, 2025 Police Contracting 207 budget, and 2025 Parks and Recreation 208 budget.
Second?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Nold. Yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Board members, this public hearing is now open for anybody in the public that would like to speak about our budget property tax millage rate proposed to be levied to support the proposed budget, which will be the subject of this hearing. So does anybody want to talk about the proposed millages to be levied to support our budget? Seeing none.
I move to close the Truth in Budgeting hearing at 6:38 p.m. to discuss the property tax millage rates proposed to be levied to support the proposed budgets for the following: 2025 General Fund 101 budget, 2025 Police Contracting 207 budget, and 2025 Parks and Recreation 208 budget.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari and a second by Trustee Nold. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Nold. Yes. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Okay, item 8, unfinished business, we have none. Item 9, new business, we have none. Item 10, budget workshop. The purpose of this workshop is to review the proposed 2025 operating budgets. So we'll go through each one should there be any questions. Item 10A, the 2025 general fund budget. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Item 10B, 2025 road fund 204 budget.
Just one that we talked about it before. We just have to move that 600,000 to that new line item, the 204-40 967-002. Remember, we want to kind of follow that through.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
What Treasurer Ferrari's talking about is in 2026, we're going to be paving in conjunction with a federal grant, Dunlap Road from the Seymour Lake office, from the township offices to M24. So we're putting money to do our portion of it into a special fund to track it.
Supervisor Curtis,
Yes,
could I ask Treasurer Ferrari a question?
yes.
Elaborate on that GL number. Is that a current GL number? Would you mind repeating it so we know where to make those changes to?
Susan created that. Hold on here. 204
Okay.
440 967.002.
And that's where you'd like the 600,000?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Super. Item 10C, Fire Department operations. Are there any questions on the Fire Department operations budget? Seeing none. Item 10D, 2025 Police Contracting Fund, 207. Seeing none. 10E, 2025 Parks and Recreations budget. Seeing none.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Just, I'm trying to look here, page, let's see, 30, let me go back there. I put some notes here, but I have to pull up the computer. Oh, 30, bear with me for a minute.
Between 24 and 36.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up on the screen here. Page 34. Let me just make sure. 208, 757, 707. Just a quick question on this. It's 208, 758, 707, 671. It says wages and fees, senior travel supervisor. 2024 original budget, 54,500. Amended budget, you can see right there, 54,500. And then 60,000. Well, I'm sorry, it says here, year-to-date, 35,636, and then proposed $60,000. So I'm just kind of wondering why it bumped up if we're not spending all the money yet. Is there somebody from Parks and Rec that explain that?
No, but Mike can answer that.
Okay.
That's what they're planning on the wages for that position being in 2025.
So, okay, so last time they paid, what, 54,000, and they're expecting
54.5,
54.5, as I mentioned.
and then they're planning on a potential
Potential of 60,000.
increase to 60.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the Cemetery Maintenance Fund. Any questions?
The question.
Yes.
It went down significantly. Is it because we've maintained everything so far? I mean, have we improved the maintenance, thus that we don't need much more?
Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at our fund balance from 2023, it's pretty healthy. So what we're looking at is the fund balance, it's proposed at $200,000 is a paving project, some tree removal, and we are in the process right now of removing and replacing the sign at Mount Pleasant Cemetery. And then there's probably some other incidentals that'll happen. So the thought is that these monies will cover those expenses, and then if there's more to be done, we'll just pull out a fund balance during the course of 2025.
Okay.
And some of these, the funds for this year is from ARPA, is that correct, Curtis?
Yes.
Yes. Any other questions on Cemetery Maintenance Fund? Hearing none. 10G, Telecommunications Fund. Any questions? Seeing or hearing none. Moving on. 10H, Building Department Fund. Any questions? Hearing none. Item I, 2025 Cable Fund. Any questions? Hearing none. 10J, the Safety Path Fund.
Jack, same things we discussed with roads. We got Danielle, the 297852821.
Wait. Slow down. She's got a bad paw.
Yeah, the one where you have the 300,000 at? You see that?
All right, I have 297,852. What was the rest? I'm sorry.
The one where you had it at 858-21010. Supervisor Curtis wants that separate as well so we can track it. That's 297-852-808.008. That's where that 300,000 is going for.
All right, thank you.
Would you repeat that, please, Joe? Just run that by again.
Basically, go ahead, Jack.
What we're doing is we're earmarking money for safety path fund, but we're putting it in a special fund so we know that's where it's going and we're tracking it in that fund. Before, it used to just go into the general opening amount or the opening balance, and we didn't know what it was earmarked for. Now we're earmarking it for projects.
Christmas club stuff, huh?
Yeah, Christmas club stuff, right?
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Moving on, 10J, 2025 Pollyant Trail Management Council Fund. Any questions? Hearing none. Item number 11, public comments. Does the public have any more comments on any subject you'd like to talk about? Yes, come on up.
My name's Peggy, and I live over in Hillcrest Villas. And I didn't have time to read over all the details of all these budgets because it's a little overwhelming. But I guess one of my big concerns is that one of the surveys that we looked at, there's a great interest in maintaining our natural environment. And it seems that sometimes that gets pushed aside for development. And I'm a little concerned about that. I know we're trying to build housing, but we're not concentrating, in my view and others' view, on maintaining sustainable natural areas. We have woodlands, wetlands, open fields. Many of them are invaded by invasive species. And we do have areas where there's native Michigan plants, and they need to be cared for and encouraged to flourish. Even in our cemeteries, we have invasive species. I would like to encourage you all to give equal consideration to the protection of our natural habitat, remembering that we need to protect them or they will perish. And I know they don't create a lot of tax revenue, but if we don't protect them, they'll be stolen and lost to our children and all the future generations. Thank you.
Any other members of the public like to speak? None? Okay, moving on. Item 12, Board of Trustee comments. Trustee Colvin.
I have nothing at this time.
Trustee Payne.
Nothing.
Trustee Nold.
Yes, the Water Sewer Committee has been working very hard, and we have 4 items we'd like to bring the board up to date with. We'd like to do a little synopsis every time we have a board meeting just to keep the board in the know. We are working on making a recommendation plan for the Brad Dewey subdivision, the extension of the sewer line. We're also in 2025 working on water and sewer budgets for consideration to keep the entire township board appraised of the funding of each system. We also are working on a possible water rate adjustment for the standard minimum and anything that that is used additionally. And the last one, the individual request water and sewer billing adjustments, recommendations for consideration. So those are the 4 things that we've discussed in our September 18th meeting. And we like to give, if we can, a little synopsis every month on where we're at, what's going on, so the board has knowledge of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Nold. Treasurer Ferrari.
I've talked to a couple trustees about this. This is just my take on it. I really like us to postpone the ballot issue for single hauler. It'll show priority. Our preferred vendor straightens out all of its issues pertaining to the acquisition of GFL. Due to the issues with other communities as well as some of our own, I feel that the ballot question would not be able to get a fair consideration by our voters. If we wait until the 2026 midterm elections, hopefully, all the transition issues will have been worked out and our voters will be able to judge accordingly.
Thank you, Treasurer Ferrari. I'll go first then instead of last tonight. I want to address something. Invasive species in our township, we do some invasive species removal through the Road Commission of Oakland County. They identify them that are close to roads or choking drains and choking wetlands. We participate in funding with that, with the county and the state, and we do fund those kind of things. As far as open space, the master plan survey definitely shows the township has an interest in maintaining open space, and this board has been diligently trying to maintain open space. There's only one way to maintain open space, and that's to buy the property from a private owner. So before a developer goes in to buy it, we are trying to make efforts to consider purchasing some of this land for open space. However, the developer has much deeper pockets in the anticipation of building and return on investments than this board can authorize purchasing the property for. So we are making a valiant effort, and I know Trustee Colvin and I have met a couple times, and it's tough when someone who's owned the property for 80 years is now in retirement age and they're trying to maximize their income to leave, and what we can get it appraised for and what a developer can make on it, we can't afford to buy it. I mean, we are trying. We're diligently making every effort to fulfill the needs in the master plan by purchasing open space. Even with the 500 acres of parkland that the township owns, we have considered many parcels for open space. So I wanted to address those two comments to Peg. Thirdly, our next meeting is the Township Board adopts the 2025 budget on September 11th. And the millage request report, the Oakland County Equalization L4029, will be sent to the county by Treasurer Ferrari once approved by this board. So that's our timeline on events to come. I have nothing else. Clerk Wright.
No comment.
Trustee Charles.
I'll make up for the couple of things. First of all, I appreciate the efforts that are being made to maintain the green spaces. I think that's important to all of us, you know, and I'm glad you said that because I think the public needs to know we're not just sitting around doing nothing about it. Secondly, I want to come back to something too to compliment, I believe, Supervisor Curtis on the police fund. If you notice there on page 22, item number 207-000-400-000, the significant savings we had on the money that was budgeted for the police. That's a nice chunk of money that Supervisor Curtis was able to help us save for the township. So thank you, Supervisor Curtis.
It was a welcome surprise. Thank you. That's all goes to the capital improvement team also.
Okay, to the capital improvement team too.
Thank you. Okay, item 13.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Colvin. And are there any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.